Hey, Hugo. Oh, come on, man. Don't be like that. Come on, just because I gave away your house. It was for a competition. I've built you a new one. It's modular. You can even have an extension onto it. Okay, what about if I light the interior and also provide you with an outside light? Hello and welcome to the Battling Barrow. My name's Kev, and yes, in this video we are going to look at lighting buildings inside and maybe putting a little wall light fire type thing on the outside. Recently I did the lighting of my dungeon street tiles, which you can look at if you by clicking around here, and so that's inspired me, so let's get on with it. So the way I look at this, we have three options available to us. One, we can do what I'm currently doing, which is just getting some tea lights and putting them inside the house and turning them on. Great, that gives you a flicker, that's great, but the problem is you have to make sure you get the lights in just the right place, otherwise you won't see them. And at the moment, the way the windows are, they're not diffused, so you can actually just sort of see straight in and see that it's a tea light. So no matter which method we pick, we're going to have to sort that out. Okay, the next method is, of course, this is great, but if you want to light the whole house up, you've got to have more than one tea light in. That means turning two tea lights on. So another option is to get a couple of LEDs, probably from pulling the tea lights apart, and soldering up some sort of system that I can wire together, pretty much like I did, almost similar to what I did with street lights, and wire them up, and they're flickering. So yeah, one light. That seems too complicated for me in this level. So I picked option number 3, which is the easiest, which is just to buy these, which are little string of LEDs that are controlled, powered by two CR32 2032 batteries, and with a switch I can turn on and off. Now these don't flicker, but you really, with multiple flickering light sources in a house, you'd probably lose that flicker anyway, and especially when I add in the diffuse into the lighting, you're going to lose it. So you just want a nice constant light for the inside of the cat just jumped off, for the inside of the house. So this is what I'm going to pick. But okay, what are we going to do about the defusing of the lights? It's really easy. Last year I bought, or a few years back now, I bought a wet palette. I did not get on with it. I just like using how I do my method, which is dry palette and just water it down. I'm not a painter, so, but the wet palette sheets are perfect to diffuse lighting. You can of course use tissue paper to do this, but these are perfect. So what I did with these, I just cut these into strips and then glued them inside the house behind the light to act as a diffuser. Okay, now I need to attach the lights to the house. Now I need to make sure that it's removable, so I can remove it and change the batteries, and I want to have that switch accessible. So the solution I come up with was just to cut a little strip of card, cereal box card, creating a sort of a loop, if you like, a loop, little holder around the outside of the lights, and this is just glued into place. And with that, it's as simple as that. I'm not even going to unwind the lights. In acting as they are like this, they are great for lighting up the house. And with that, the houses are done. I've just got to do all my houses now. Okay, but what about adding a bit of light to the outside of the houses, such as our wall sconce? Well, on my stone brick houses, this is what I'm going to do to them. Don't do this on the wooden houses, because really firing wood. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of soldering in this. I'm going to pull apart a tea light and get the LED. That's all I want from this. I'm going to use some of those switches that I used in the street lights. I am going to find out what is the positive and what is the negative of the LED by using the battery, put my battery into the holder and just sort of confirm which is positive and which is negative on the switch. I'm convinced that the red is positive, which I'm right. After that, I'm going to attach some heat shrink, some thin heat shrink that I've cut in half because I need half of it for this. So one bit heat shrink does 2 of these. I'm going to put the heat shrink in place, and now the soldering part, my favourite. I hate soldering, I'm not very good at it, so I'm going to pre-tin everything and then just solder everything in place, so positive to positive, negative to negative. Once the soldering's done, I can shrink the smaller bit of the heat shrink in place and then slide the bigger bit into place and shrink that into place, and with that we've got a flickering LED on a switch. Now we've got to attach it to the wall, so for this I'm going to work out where I want to place it, put a hole into it that is big enough so I can push the LED through. A little bit of hot glue just to hold it in place. Like before, just a little strap just to hold the switch in place underneath, just gluing either side of it. Now I'm going to make the sconce for it. I've gone for a sort of a black iron, wrought iron sort of semi-circle sconce, and I'm just going to make this out of black chipboard, cut and shaped, bent and glued in place. Then on the outside, just using the hot glue gun just to create a little bit of flameage, just to make it look like when it's on there is flame there, and we are done. It's that simple. We have lights on the outside on the stone walls, stone houses, and lights on the inside everywhere else. Let's have a look at its setup. Before we have a look at its setup though, I'd like to take time to say thanks for watching this, quite a short video but maximum results, I feel. Thanks to you all for watching, liking, subbing and all that good stuff. Thanks for the patrons that make these videos possible. They are really grateful for that. Until the next video guys, stay safe, take care, bye bye.